Shout out to Cook Talks.
Shout out to Cook Talks.
Shout out Cook Talks, man.
Hey yo, it is Carso, and I am back on SDSU basketball talk with Cook Talks. I believe it is either the fourth or fifth episode, and we have a little bit of a catching up to do. First off, the last time I talked to you was after we had beat ASU. We've had 3 games in between that, so I'm sorry about that. Obviously, I try to get out all the content to you guys, but this past couple weeks, a lot of homework, stressing, went back home for Christmas, Thanksgiving. What am I doing? Went back for Thanksgiving, had some fun with some family, but let's get straight in to SDSU basketball. Last game that they played that I didn't report on was versus UT Arlington, in which we should have blown them out, and it was a less than 10-point game. Honestly, just very disappointing, as that's a team that, honestly, in the past few years, we would have blown out by like 40, 50. Honestly, not maybe 40, 50, but you know what I mean. It would have been a blowout. And then you go against them, you're giving out some free shirts, you're wearing the blue jerseys, you're feeling good. You get a couple nice dunks in, but you guys only win by like 8 or 6. Very disappointing to hear, to watch, and honestly wasn't tuned into that game as much as I wish I would have been if we were up 20-15. Next up, we go into a tournament playing in LA, our backyard from San Diego, and we played Georgetown. Coming into the season, Georgetown was nationally ranked, and I thought it was going to be a tough game. You're playing a team that just last year in March Madness played above all expectations, with Patrick Ewing as their coach. Dikembe Mutombo's son is on the team. I honestly thought we were going to lose in the first round. But I'm watching the game with my family, and we just looked more comfortable out there. Lamont was attacking. It was weird to see Matt Bradley in a jersey not number 3. Like, I didn't know what to think right there, just because it was so odd not seeing him in even his own last name on the back of the jersey. I don't know what equipment manager forgot his jersey back home, or if he forgot it in his laundry hamper, but that was weird to see. Go on to USC the next night. I don't know if it was just maybe we were tired, played in a late game, didn't finish till about 10:30 the night before, and so we just stunk up the bed. It was just a stinker, and that happens playing a good team, ranked 24 in the nation at the time. USC is always pretty good. Next year they got another NorCal guy, Osiah Sellers, so that'll be interesting, but not the best game. I think we lost by, it was under 20 for sure. Just, that's a game in the past where it would have been either very competitive or we would have been controlling that game the entire time. And besides the Kashad Johnson nasty yam over the tournament, very disappointing tournament in that second game. Beat Georgetown a good game, and I guess you could say that coming in second in that tournament was pretty solid. Now, let's get to the game that I just watched. We play Long Beach State, and I'm sitting in women's basketball. I always like to look up the players on the other team, see if they have any NorCal guys. And I look up, and they got this guy named Drew Cobb. And so I text my boss, do you know who Drew Cobb is? And he's like, yeah, he's a great story out of Sheldon, went to Fresno Community after that, and then went to Long Beach, and then at Long Beach walked on. And then after he walked on, they ended up giving him a scholarship, and he started tonight. Just goes to show you never give up in whatever you do, whether it's working at McDonald's, whether it's cleaning people's shoes. Never give up, because you don't know what's lying around the next corner. That Drew, in most people would have given up. You go to Fresno Community, most people wouldn't have gone to Community and still ended up transferring. Either way, he gets an education, goes to Community, goes to Long Beach, gets an education. But the fact that he worked so hard to walk on, and it was rewarded with a scholarship. Really cool dude. I DM'd him and asked him, just talked to him, said, hey, I'm from SAC, you're from SAC. And he said, oh, come after the game, we can say what's up. So after the game, I was like, hey, would you be down for an interview? And he said, yeah, sure. Just let me know when. And that's what I love about basketball players. They're usually super chill unless they're too high class like Marcus Bagley. But let's get into this game really quick. Going up against the Long Beach, I believe the spread was 20. We were supposed to win by 20. And by the end of the game, we ended up winning by, hold up, 26. Ended up covering the field, which is always good for SDSU, as the last few games that I thought that they should have blown out the other team or at least not made it competitive. It's been a 4-point, 2-point game. Look at ASU, who I thought we were going to blow out. Look at UCR, who I thought we'd blow out by 15, 20. So this is the first game where I feel like this is a good game. You look at them. I'm going to look at with 11:30 left in the second, we're up 51-29. And on the night, we're shooting 36% from three and 86% from the free throw line. That hasn't happened all year. I don't think we've shot above 30% all year from the 3-point line. So seeing that late into a game, I didn't end up getting the final stats, but we definitely shot well over 30%. Keith Dinwiddie played amazing. Shout out Keith Dinwiddie today because he was the player of the game. And I loved his being able to knock down shots. He knocked down one shot, even though it didn't count, where he's just like, damn, that fell. It was his night tonight. He finished with, let's see if I can. Well, I don't have what he finished with, but he played extremely well. And I'm really glad to see that because off that bench, him and Chad just bring flat out energy. Speaking of energy, we got to talk about the man, Kashad Johnson. He brought that energy tonight with 2 nasty dunks, an alley-oop. At the beginning of the game, Matt Bradley started off really hot. I believe he had 10 points in the first half, in the first few minutes, and the steals were turning into points. And we were causing a lot of steals. So that was a lot of points. But in the first half, we were struggling defensively in the half court. We weren't allowing them to get transition buckets. But in the half court set, whether it was the dude from Last Chance U or one of their guards, they were getting buckets whenever they wanted. If it wasn't Lamont Butler scoring on them, then they were scoring, which was kind of scary to see. Nathan Mensah had one of the nastiest blocks I've ever seen live. He sent that thing into the ground, so that was awesome to see. But besides that dunk, we went on a big time run, and that was the most important part of the game. We went on a run with let me check. With 2:20 left from the 11-minute mark to 2:20 in the first half, we went on an 18-4 run. An 18-4 run. An 18-4 run. That is huge right there. That is big time because those are runs that teams in March Madness have to make. You're playing a not great Long Beach team. That's terrible English, but you know what I mean. You're playing a terrible Long Beach team that honestly has no reason to be competing with you guys. And they came out there and made a statement. Sometimes there's such thing as a statement game. Players have statement games, but SDSU made a statement tonight that, hey, if we play it the best that we can, we knock down our shots. Most importantly, knocking down free throws. It feels like they've shot 50% from the free throw line basically all year. So getting able to shoot 84% going in late in the second half, come on. This is a team that had struggled beating the bad teams. You know, the thing about the Warriors, right? When they went on that 73-9 year, no, 73-9. Yeah. 73-9 season, they beat the bad teams. That's what you have to do. If you're the Sacramento Kings, I hate to bring up the Sacramento Kings because we suck too. But if you want to be a good team, you have to beat up on the bad teams. I don't care if it's a 2-point win. I'd rather have it be a 15-point win like tonight. We had a 15-plus point win. I think that's the first all year. So that was a huge game. You know, Keith, I thought played amazing. I think he deserves player of the game. Matt Bradley did Matt Bradley things. He went crazy. And then we took care of business. That's all that matters. Couple lazy turnovers, but besides that, hey, that Lamont Butler dunk. Ooh, Lamont Butler, that was disgusting. Why did you have to do him like that? Great game for the for the Aztecs. Finally took care of business. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to check it out on Instagram for the short. It's also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. It's on YouTube, wherever you're watching it. Please leave me a comment. Let me know how you think I did. Make sure to check out the SDSU games, and peace.